Hello guys, this is the Prince of Macedon, and I'm doing a commentary battle on the Prippet Marshes. This is the Macedonia versus Germania battle, and I am the Macedonians, and my opponent, Deathhead of the Sparta clan, is in command of the Germans. And due to so many freaking requests to do a siege battle, I've decided to try one. I've never played a siege battle online, and I've never actually played a siege battle, period. I played one on the Alexander expansion, there's two of them actually, the historical battles of Halicarnassus and Tyre. But I've never played against a human before, so I'm gonna do just one, that's it, just one siege battle, because I really think the siege battles are really kinda lame. Anyways, let's look at my army first. I have a companion cavalry, one squadron, and that's where my general's at. Let's see. I have 6 phalanx pikemen. I'm sorry, there's 6 royal pikemen. And, most of them will be pushing these little battering ram things. And I've got them spread out, because I want to attack this fort at several points. So I can spread his troops out. And, I also have 2 archers. The purpose of them is to lure his archers away from my battering rams, because I know that fire archers can burn my equipment, or at least I believe so. And I have 2 peltasts. They're over here. I wasn't sure why I brought them, but I brought them. Because once again, I've never done a siege battle before. So anyways, I'm just waiting for my opponent. As you guys remember, I played Deathhead of the Sparta clan before. So that's probably why his name looks familiar. Anyways, I decided to do a siege battle, not only because of the request, but also because Alexander the Great fought siege battles too. Like, he fought all kinds of battles, siege battles, guerrilla warfare, mountain warfare, Alexander the Great had the distinction of fighting in every kind of battle and winning every kind of battle. Some of his most famous siege battles were the Battle of Gaza, the Sodian Rock, Tyre. Anyways, my opponent started his side. Let's look at his army. You can see his walls. It's being backed by 4 chosen archer warbands, 4 spear warbands. There's like 4 berserkers right here. Here is a Gothic cavalry squadron, and somewhere back here, oh, here it is. Here's a barbarian noble cavalry squadron. Anyways, I got my guys advancing here, and I'm not sure why my archers went all the way up here. I was surprised they couldn't fire at those Germans from where they were. But anyways, as I approach, I'll talk more about Alexander the Great's siege battles. At Gaza, that was a very interesting siege battle. At the end of it, the Persian governor, Betis, he was dragged through the streets of Gaza behind a chariot. That was kind of interesting because it mimicked the actions of Alexander the Great's hero, Achilles, who dragged Hector's body around the gates of Troy. Anyways, I've reached I've reached 2 of his gates, and I've also reached his walls here. So I'm just waiting to puncture through these walls here. Anyways, another siege battle that was pretty famous was the Sodian Rock. That was supposed to be like this very impregnable fortress, even impregnable by Hercules himself. But Alexander the Great, he was challenged by the defenders to grow wings, and if they grew wings, the Macedonians, then the defenders would surrender to them. So during the night, Alexander the Great sent some of his best mountain climbers up this neighboring hill, and he told them to wave some white flags so that it looked like they had wings. And on the next morning, when the defenders saw those Macedonians on top of another mountain, the defenders got kind of scared and they surrendered. And my favorite siege battle was the Battle of Tyre, the Siege Battle of Tyre. Because at that battle, Alexander the Great had had to attack an island that was half a mile away from the mainland where his forces were. So in order to get to the island, he actually built a freaking mole that connected the mainland to the island. So anyways, the battle has started here, so let's go back to the battle here. I have punctured his walls, his gate, at several points. And this is where most of his defenders are. So I'm going to keep these guys ready here. I know my royal pikes can take this guy on one by one, but since he's ganging up on them, that's going to be a little tougher. So I'm also coming down this side too. I had some trouble coming through the gate first, but I didn't realize I had to drop my equipment first. I thought they would have done it automatically. Alright, I've punctured that gate, and I punctured this wall too. This is kind of sweet, going at several points, because at this point there's like no resistance right here. So now I'm going to blitzkrieg through this wall here, because that's where my opening's at. Everywhere else there is a resistance. Like my guys here, they're getting creamed by his combination of berserkers and spear warbands. Anyway, I scared his general somewhere, not sure where. But his cavalry's no match for my pikes here. And elsewhere, my royal pikes are going to sweep these spear warbands across, because just look at the matchup, spear warbands versus royal pikes. Not much of a matchup, to be honest. Here I got through, but my guys are a little disorganized. But I'm still beating those dudes. These chosen archer warbands are still firing at me. Over here, my phalanx that got through, they're back into this corner here, and they're just gonna get annihilated by those berserkers. I feel sorry for those Macedonians. So here comes his berserkers. They're gonna join the fight against my royal pikes that came through this wall here. So here's what the situation looks like. I failed here, but he's withdrawing his troops from there. And I faked an entrance with my archers, but I withdrew immediately. Now I'm moving my companion cavalry in. I think just a sight of my cavalry within his gates are gonna freak out my opponent. I'm just gonna run these dudes over. Over here, my peltas actually punctured in. Now they're fighting his Gothic cavalry here, trying to take command of the fort's center. So I'm glad my peltas had some kind of role in this battle. I killed his general. I'm not sure where his general was. I couldn't see him. Anyways, my pikes are getting into the center here. Elsewhere, here's my companion cavalry, and now they're gonna run wild through this barbarian fort here. Here's where most of the action seems to be. So this is where I'm gonna rush my cavalry in. My general. Whack. Actually, my companions are just passing through. I want to take out these archers. All those dead bodies.
God be praised. This victory surely their work.
Alright, so I actually won that fort battle. I'm surprised. That was a clear victory. I had 814 kills, with 716 men remaining, and Deathhead of the Sparta clan had 446 men killed. Those are my men killed, and he had 195 men remaining. So I hope you guys enjoyed that fort battle, and remember, that was my last fort battle, so don't ask anymore.